The algorithm made me do it. It's funny at first, isn't it? A cheeky way to explain spending hours scrolling through cat videos or buying that random gadget you didn't need. But there's a deeper meaning to that phrase, isn't there? It's like a little crack in the veneer of our autonomy, a subtle acknowledgement of how much of our behavior isn't entirely our own. Think about it. When was the last time you chose a Netflix show without that recommended for you nudge? Or bought something online without you might also like whispering in your ear? These algorithms blend so seamlessly into our lives that they feel like an extension of us. A quiet, persistent voice suggesting what to watch, read, or buy. But are they really us? Or are they something else entirely? When we say, the algorithm made me do it, we're admitting defeat, aren't we? Shifting the blame to an invisible force. It's convenient. Comforting even. It's not my fault, we tell ourselves. The algorithm decided, but isn't that just a clever way to dodge responsibility? To avoid confronting how much control we've surrendered to these unseen systems. That's the thing about algorithms. They're efficient, not malicious. Designed to keep us engaged, they curate our worlds, our news, shopping, even relationships on dating apps. They weave a digital tapestry around us, and we let them because it's easier than weaving our own. But at what cost? This brings us to free will. The big question. Are we really free to choose? Or are we just reacting to an environment shaped by technology? Philosophers have wrestled with determinism for ages. Biology, upbringing, society, they all shape us. But algorithms? They add a whole new layer. It's not just your environment anymore. It's your every click, your every scroll. And it's all being used to predict, influence, and steer you. Jean-Paul Sartre would have had a field day with this. He argued that we define ourselves through our choices, but how do you stay authentic when algorithms seem to know you better than you know yourself? If every option is pre-sorted, pre-filtered, and pre-packaged for you, are you really choosing, or are you just picking from a list they've curated? And what about the surveillance angle? Michel Foucault's panopticon, a system where you're always being watched whether you know it or not, feels eerily relevant. Algorithms aren't just observing us, they're learning. Every pause, every click becomes a data point. It's like having an invisible observer perched on your shoulder, gently nudging you toward what's next. Creepy, isn't it? Or maybe comforting. Depends on your perspective, but let's not stop at the philosophy. What about the ethics? Are we being manipulated? Exploited? Algorithms are like mirrors reflecting our preferences and biases. But mirrors don't show the whole picture. They can trap us in echo chambers, reinforcing what we already believe and shielding us from opposing views. Over time, those echo chambers become walls, separating us from those who think differently. So what can we do? How do we reclaim agency in this algorithm-driven world? Awareness is the first step. Knowing these systems exist and recognizing their influence is crucial. It's like pulling back the curtain on The Wizard of Oz. Once you see the strings, you can start to cut them. Curate your own content, question why you're being shown what you're shown, and make intentional decisions. True freedom isn't about rejecting algorithms entirely. That's not realistic. It's about understanding how they work and choosing consciously in spite of them. It's about saying, the algorithm didn't make me do it. I made me do it.